Okay, here we go.
Presenting now. Woo! Let's go, Emmanuel. Red team, let's go. Red team.
Yep, so my talk is about using modules slash plugins as a red teamer. So, again, I'm Emmanuel, also known as a potato for some reason. Okay, let's start. What are modules? It is a self-contained piece of software. You can think of this as like a function um, that does a small program or whatever. It simplifies a complex software. So a best way to think about this is Python modules. We have used, I believe most of us are used like Python request modules. Those are just a bunch of tiny functions that are doing specific things. So modules are exactly, well, same. Modules are like that, and it's used to make code easy to understand and easy to debug. Next is plugins. I believe there are similar, but there's a slight difference. According to the internet, plugins is a software component that can be added to an existing software to create or remove features on the larger software itself. So the difference is it doesn't change the way the OST program actually works. And we obviously have used this a lot in our everyday lives, especially on browsers. So we have like ad blockers, for example. We have plugins for, let's say you want to have a plugin that finds coupons for every time you buy something. That's a plugin, and yeah, that's that. So why is this important? Well, as a software engineer or pretty much anyone who likes to program, it makes it easy to debug the code because now you have it in smaller chunks. So it's easy for you to just know, oh, it's just this one module slash plugin that's the problem, so you can easily fix that. Also easy for maintainers, no, that word over there. Again, makes it easy to fix your stuff. Organization, if you really enjoy clean code, it really using modules slash plugins helps you in that way. Again, it's used for a specific task, so you don't have to reuse the same thing over and over again. You can just have one function that does this thing. So if you need it somewhere else, you can just again call it, and that brings us to the next one, which is reuse. So again, back to the request module in Python. Obviously, a lot of people have to do some web requests rather than writing a socket each time just to talk to whatever server or whatever. The point of the module simplifies that for us, so we can just call one function, and that does the socket connection and all that fancy stuff behind the scenes, where we don't really have to know what's going on. And the last one is collaboration. In the big team, it's cool. Everyone has their own style of coding, but if it's better when we each have whatever, like back to the module again, if each person writes their own modules, rather than it breaking the bigger software, we know that, oh, if there's a problem, and let's say you push your code to the production server and it breaks, rather than bring down the old server and trying to fix all of it, well, and trying to find it, with modules slash plugins, you can easily pinpoint that location. So, yeah. And now we want to move back to we want to think as a red teamer. So red teamers, we want to have, why do we care about this? Well, it helps with persistence. We can have code executions with that. Sometimes we need if you guys decide to block our IP or just deny access to us, we sometimes need a reverse shell, and again, it creates a backdoor for anyone. So this is really fun. So let's get started. So how do you start writing a quote-unquote malicious plugin slash module again? Well, not sometimes. to write a module, you need to read the docs. Depending on what software you're trying to write a module for, you have to read the docs. You have to think as a software developer. Write it like write it like it's going to be used by everyone. So you want to read the docs multiple times because sometimes it's not always clear. So you read it multiple times again. You can write the sample code that they give you just to test it works on your, depending on what your server you're on. You just start to write the code. You get distracted by some other new technique or like just school in general, and you go back to it again, and you're lost about what's going on. Again, you read the logs, and finally, eventually, you find some time to write something that sort of works, where it gets just the main idea of the module. So we RIT's red team, we have these three main public modules, malicious modules. First one is Trickshot, which is a MySQL module. We have Edshot, which is an Nginx module, and we have Captain Hook, which is a GitLab module?
Yeah.
It is? Okay. So first one is Trickshot. Again, it's a MySQL. We are going to have a demo of this. As you can see, when we install the module, you can just call it by doing select and whatever you name the function. In this case, it's called Trickshot. Run your command, and boom, you get all this fancy stuff. And you're running code as whatever that user is, which is MySQL in this case. So if you have your MySQL publicly open and you have this Trickshot installed, well, now this is bad for your company or your team as a blue teamer. Edshot, similar, except it's Nginx. As you can see, it's sort of similar. You just crawl the website wherever it's installed, and you have to put in the magic word, Edshot, and put in your command. And as you can see, it spills out the output. It does not always work. It doesn't work for standard out and standard error, so that's not going to show. And so it kind of works like well, actually, I'm not sure why it says that, but you can see you can have remote code execution with a Nginx module. And there is Captain Hook, which is what I wrote, and it sort of works. So if you guys want to help me, just ping me, and we can talk about how to make it better. But it uses this feature in GitLab, which is web hooks, which gets executed every time you either push a code, pull a code, or do a pull request. No, a pull request, a push, and a clone. So this tool attacks all of that so that every time you push, clone, whatever, it's running whatever code. It runs a script behind the scenes. So yeah. Oh, and it's demo time.
Let's go.
Let's hope it works.
Demo. Leak.
Oh yeah. So this is a server somewhere. I don't know where it is. And I've cloned the Trickshot. Wait, can you guys see this? You can dox the IP. Okay. Is that good? Okay? So as you can see, I have it cloned, Trickshot, a really easy one. So I'm gonna compile this C code, and it's gonna be named hacked.so. ls, it's right there, awesome. If we look at so now we have to copy this to the plugin locations. So MySQL has a location where it keeps all its modules. So I don't remember the command, so we're gonna do copy-f. In our case, it's hack.so/user/lib/MySQL and plugins. Awesome. So now it's there. Next thing we have to do is just start our MySQL. So cool. So according to this beautiful documentation, we have to create a function. And this would be the name of the yeah. Hi. The function name would be, we'll call it hacked. And oof, okay. What's the problem? Or we can pretend that this is the TG. So let's pretend like this is the, as you can see, let's say I did this command. It's already there. It's installed. Boom. Whatever. As you can see, it already exists. We go. So now we want to test to see if it works. So you do ls. As you can see, it creates a function called Trickshot, and it uses this module. So in this case, to execute it, you have to do select that function name and your command in there. So where my MySQL, what else? We can do ls. Boom, that's that. We can also find the current directory of where this is running. And it is in the /user/lib/MySQL, which is where all the plugins are. So we can say this works. Yeah, it actually worked. So again, this is what sometimes as a red teamer, we don't try to not break the system, but trying to understand the service itself and trying to see how to use the service against yourself is always useful. So as a blue teamer, I'm pretty sure you can create modules to defend all of this. So that's my quick presentations on how to use modules/plugins as a red teamer. Maybe someone should give a talk doing the opposite, which is a blue team version of all of this. In that case, I think I'm done. Any questions? Yeah, any questions?
I'm not done yet.
Huh?
I'm not done yet.
Okay, we're gonna